go straight through it. Basically, it requires all users to be authenticated and you must be authorized, continuously validated. And you may say, of course, like, duh, why wouldn't that be? What else is there? Well, there is the traditional way, the traditional model. It's known as castle and moat, MOAT, castle and moat. Basically, all it is that if you are inside the network, then you're trusted by default. If you have to come in, you get authenticated, authorized. But once you're in, you are trusted. So once you're inside, all users, well, many users, pretty much all, have open and wide ranging access to everything, to resources. That's traditional. You have your firewalls and your DMZ. You come through that way, and then you're on the inside of the network. So what's the limit to that? You have a single point of failure. A single breach can compromise the entire network, which means it's not segregated into different locations, separated by firewalls and routers and intrusion detections and prevention systems. Also, there is a lack of visibility, right? Limited monitoring of traffic, right? And you have insider threats. So you can have an employee that's within the network. They are a continuous threat, right? Does that make sense to you? Let me know in the comments section. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will answer any questions that you have. But this is a pretty simple one. Zero trust. This is a common term that is now taking over the industry. Why? What are these principles? So now it's never trust, always verify. So what's different about that? You have to always authenticate and authorize based on all available data points. What does that mean? All of the information that you have coming in, you're going to validate based on all of the information, not just whether or not you're inside the network or not with your MAC address or IP address. That's just one set of data points. Now we're looking at every single amount of data points that's available to us to authenticate that device, not even a person, process, technology, but that device should be there. And we always talk about people, processes, and technology. We always talk about those things. Now, the least privileged access. So now we're going to limit users so that they only have access to the things that they need to have access to. The CEO does not need to have access to the encryption key, right? Unless you're just a one person business, okay? And also, you're going to assume that a breach is taking place or can take place. So you minimize the blast radius if something goes wrong. You limit the amount of damage. So you're going to segregate. You're going to only have access to what you're supposed to have access. And if you're in this location, whatever you do, whatever that bad threat um, person or entity is, the only thing they have access to is just this little area, and the damage is only in this little area. Makes sense? Let me know you're here in the comment section or in the chat. I'm right here for you. I'm your favorite cybersecurity quarterback, Ron Wilkie. That was not so smooth. Usually I'm like, right, but I'm not like that this time. All right, so now how do you do this? What are the key components of zero trust? Let's go to a different screen. The key components of zero trust. Multi-factor authentication. This is paramount. You have to do this. I don't care if you are on your home network, if it's your Google email, if it's your Facebook, your X, whatever it is you're using, you should have multi-factor authentication turned on. Right. Now, what is that? That just means you have to verify more than once. So maybe you put in a password, and then you will get a text message to confirm a particular key. Right. I use that all the time. Stuff going on. All right, and number 2, micro segmentation. We talk about segments. So we're going to segment all of these different areas, but not even just this. But even within this segment, we're going to have segments, right? Segments within segments to again limit the amount of damage a bad actor. That's what I was looking for earlier. The term a bad actor. It limits the amount of damage a bad actor can do. Okay, and we're going to do continuous monitoring. Now you can monitor all of these different little areas, and you know who has access to these different areas and who's in these areas, where the traffic is coming and going within these areas. That's continuous monitoring. And that is very important for zero trust. So let's look at the architecture. It's all about identity, devices, network, and application. So a zero trust architecture implements security policies. It does this within a distributed environment, and it authenticates users and devices. Right. So not just the user is authenticated, but the device, and then the area in which you should be, those two things should be located. All of that is scrutinized, monitored, evaluated, logged. Whether it's the network, that's part of it, the device, the identity, and the application that is being connected to those things. What's being done, what work is being done within that network, right? That's zero trust. And when I say zero trust, sometimes you just hear zero trust, zero trust. What does that mean? It means you don't trust anything. You don't trust a single person. You don't trust a single device, a single entity, a single even part of the network. You don't trust it to be secure. You are always validated. Make sense? All right. So how do you implement zero trust? You define the security policies, right? I didn't. So you're saying what should and should not happen. So for me, I like to have policies and standards and guidelines, right? Three tiers. Policies are usually high arching documents, right? They are very broad. Then you have your standards. Now you don't have to do it like this. A lot of people just have this in all one document. But I like to separate because, for instance, your policy, you may not want to put a particular name on a policy. You may just say the director of cybersecurity. Versus in the standard, you may put that these are the roles and responsibilities of this particular person, right? You may do that. You may have the person who actually owns a particular area who has the encryption keys. Right? So anyway, you're going to define your security policies. I can go down on a tangent on everything. Sorry about that. You have to identify your critical assets. You should know all your assets, but then you should know which ones are critical to your business. If something happens to this asset, will the company go down in a matter of hours, right? Or days, or months? You should know which assets are critical and then continuously monitor your network and especially those assets. All right? You build your security around those risks. You identify the risk based on the assets that are critical and what threat could be exploited on those assets to cause your company issues or to have an incident occur. So many things. We got so much to learn here, everybody. All right, and you want to monitor continuously. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to reach out to me. I have all the answers. I do. So, what are the benefits? Obviously, you would think enhanced security, right? Better security, lower risk, right? Um, improved visibility, provides better insight to your users and device, and also compliance. And that's my specialty. I love to talk about compliance. I love HIPAA compliance. I love PCI. I love SOC 2. And I absolutely love ISO 27001. And this, the Zero Trust, it fits for all of those. It is something that will help you be compliant in any of those security compliance certifications. So, you know, It's just something most companies should move toward. Zero trust. And even in your family network, zero trust. I don't trust my kids with my phone, right? I don't trust them on the network because they're going to click on all kind of things. Zero trust, okay? Make sure that you implement zero trust in your organization. That's all I have. I will talk to you all later. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share it. Make sure you send it to all your friends. And every single day, strive to do what? Have zero trust. All right. See you later.